Building the rear roof beam was relatively easy, short spanned and not too far from the ground. The front beam would be a different matter, having to span a full 20-foot length of the track. It's still not summer, but it was getting warm. First thing I had to do was mill some boards wide enough for that 20-foot span. I wanted at least 8 inches and hoped for 9. 8 5/8, 8 3/4, we're going to call them 8 1/2. And come down 8 1/2 inches from the top of the center post. I keep saying center post, I mean the center board of the post. And that is where we will cut this to support the planks on the outside and notch the center one to recess the center plank about 1 inch. Then we'll measure down to the water from there once it's cut to get our distance down for the cuts over there. Working with a dull hand saw on a tall, unsupported post is tedious at best. You have power? Use power. It's still awkward. Made that 9th grade shop. Pays to keep things. So from bottom of cut to top of water, 37 inches. So we come down here, and from the top of that board to top of water is 42, roughly. So 35 inches. What'd I say that other one was? That's why it takes me so long to get things done. 35, I think. 37, good thing I checked. 37. 42, almost. 4 7/8. So I need to come down 4 7/8 and cut there. And that will give me 37 here. Where's the water level? There it is. 37, and we'll double check before we cut it. And I'll just use the level, compare this one to that one. Quit messing around with this water tube, which I am now finished with for this project, I think. Been raining a little bit. Hasn't deterred me much. Every time I think I should go in, it lets up a little bit. My feet are dry. Bought these boots brand new. $25 at Goodwill a couple of years ago. Comfortable, waterproof. Did I mention waterproof? Critical. So what I got now, I've got the front beam laid out. Pieces from the far end, as far as it'll go. That's 24 feet and 2.5 inches. Then I figured out what the middle piece is going to be, remembering to angle it for sway bracing across the front. Got that marked. And I'm going to nail those together, and then I will have part of one beam. I had to build it incomplete or I'd never be able to lift it. If everything is square to the log stops, it's straight. Started out with 8 penny nails going through 2 layers almost completely. When the boards are tripled, we'll switch to 16 penny nails. We will put in a lot of them. Well, that kind of looks like a lot of nails, but there will be a lot more before I'm done. And once this goes up, next will be the angle braces coming off of here. Rain's let up, but it's coming up on 5 o'clock. I like to eat supper early. Trying to decide whether I want to try to put that up today or not. I don't know. I think the thing to do now, see if I can lift that. Oh yeah. I clamped a board to the top of the post to hold the end of the beam in place once I got it up there. I did not want to drop it. I wasn't worried about hurting myself. It would twist nails out of the boards and it might even break the boards. My doctor tells me I'm in better shape than men 10 years younger than I am. If I keep this up, I may lose that distinction. It wasn't until I started making these videos that I realized how much time on a project is spent standing around, looking at it, and thinking. That's probably the biggest disadvantage of making it up as I go along rather than working from a plan. Making it up as you go along takes time. I'm blessed with a strong back. One of my first jobs was setting pins in a bowling alley. one step at a time. What I really need here is a forklift. Damn. I'm surprised all those nails are still in there tight. Gonna be more work than I thought. Need more boards and more clamps. I'll go get more clamps. Can't have too many clamps. I believe I've got that clamp on there enough to keep it from tipping while allowing it to rotate around the clamp while we raise this one. Why do I keep saying we? Okay, halfway there. Yeah, I know it's on the wrong side of the post, but that's all right. If they're on opposite sides of the post, helps keep it from tipping. So what I need to do now is get that higher. I need more clamp. I think to do this safely, I definitely need more clamps. Always need more clamps. Okay, that will help keep that one from tipping out. So what am I going to do here? Not as strong as I thought I was. Still looking good down there. No, better on the other side. That clamp has to be snug but not tight because I need to move the board when I lift the other end. 2 clamps are better than 1. That extra little piece of wood is for added security. I need to turn the letter. Okay, tough guy. Here we go. I think I've got a clamp in the way. Yep. Yeah, got a clamp in the way. Should have noticed that before I started. Feels like the shed builder's equivalent of the mountaineer's assault on the peak of Everest. One last push, and we're home. This one has to go up and over to settle on the other side. Okay, it's resting on top of the tenon, on top of the middle board of that post. Just sitting there. I need to get my shoulder under it. And ease it down on the other side. What I'm doing there is, although the beam is up, it is not in its proper location. It needs to come this way about 3 inches. The easiest way to move it is to tap the posts in the opposite direction. Once I have the correct distance on this post, I can nail it. Extension past the post is 22.5 inches. Not by design, but that's the way the first one came out, so that's the way this one has to be. Got a little problem here. I should have been hammering on this post. I've driven those apart. So I'm going to have to use some rope and ingenuity here. So what I plan to do is twist a rope between the posts to try to bring them together, and then hammer on the outside post. And as usual, when a hammer doesn't work, get a bigger hammer. Need a little more tension. And I need to pull out the chisel. I drove between the post and the bottom of that short board. More tension, a few more taps, and the gap is closed. And now, are we plumb? Close enough. If that one is, of course this one is, but I'll check anyway. And now it's time for nails. Because I forgot again to leave a space in the post for the sway brace, I have to drill and chisel. That's probably a good thing, because I probably would have left that space in the wrong location. The brace is longer than necessary. I'll trim the top after I know exactly how long it should be. This one could come in a little farther. I think I will. It'll look better. When the tops of the braces are marked, I cut them off so they'll be flush with the top of the beam. I really do need to get some gravel in here one of these days. With the sway braces in place, it's a matter of measuring and cutting to fit the remaining center boards of the beam. And of course, more nails. I've got a lousy cameraman. He's no good at angles. These short center boards in the overhang are really nothing more than fillers. Now we're ready for the third plank of the beam. First, I clamp on a scrap of wood to hold it. What I want is a long board spanning the middle joint. Take one of these, nail it up right across the middle, and then deal with the end pieces. 12-1, so 6 feet and 1/2 inch. Now, is this the board I want to use for that, though? Look at this. We're going to use the other one. Now, how am I going to get this 12-foot long board up there by myself? I have only 2 hands. It would take at least 2 hands to hold it, another 2 hands to drive nails. Back to a rope and ingenuity. That short vertical plank on the left, right under the end of that plank, I put that up there to give me something to hook my measuring tape to so I could walk on the ground out 12 feet to see where the other end of the board would come out. But, as it turns out, it makes a very handy crutch to hold the end of this plank. Okay, one end is resting on the clamped on crutch. Need to clamp the other end on, flush with the other board. Here's another occasion where 2 hands are not enough. I really need 3 or 4, but 2 hands and 1 hard head get the job done. Now I left the rope up there and tied it tighter. That board is not centered over the center joint. So I want 2 ropes up there rather than clamps so I can move that plank back and forth a little if I need to. I wanted it to cover both sway brace connections in the beam. It's barely long enough to do that. Why do I want it to do that, you ask? I don't know. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Here I am busting my tail, trying to get that exactly centered. And there's absolutely no need for it. Nail her up. Nail her up. That should be the motto of this whole project. Well, there's not much left to do except nail on a few more boards to complete the beam out to the ends. Next, it's time to frame the rest of the roof assembly and figure out how I'm going to build a roof. Thanks for watching.